Good morning, everyone. I welcome all the participants to this wonderful enlightening session on the importance of psychometric assessment by school counselors. All the stakeholders, teachers, principals, school counselors are welcome to join this session. We have already shared the link on the registration page. I request you to share with others. Anybody who's interested in to this wonderful enlightening session on the importance of psychometric assessment by school counselors. All the stakeholders, teachers, principals, school counselors are welcome to join this session. We have already shared the link on the registration. Page. Today we gather to explore the transformative power of psychometric assessments in shaping the future of our students. This session would not have been possible without the leadership and guidance of Honorable Secretary Himanshu Gupta sir. Under his leadership, CBSE has organized a series of sessions on career counseling and assessment. And I would really like to thank Niti ma'am, Mrs. Niti Shankar Sharma, Deputy Secretary, Media and PR. Let me give stage to Niti ma'am to share her motivational words with the participants and to encourage them to gain a lot of insights from the session that we have today. Niti ma'am.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you so much. And good morning, everyone, all the principals, counselors, teachers, and all the stakeholders who have been part of this particular session. This is a second session in the series. We had a session yesterday, and now we are continuing with our session today with our esteemed resource person, Mr. Rahul Nair. I think Gaurav would elaborate his, profile in the sense, because for me, if I'll start talking about his, what I say, brief about what all he's doing or what all he has done so far, I'll just take another 5 minutes. So I'll just come down straight away to the importance of psychometric assessments by school counselors, which is a topic for today. Psychometric assessments offer numerous benefits that can transform our approach to student development. Firstly, they enable personalized education strategies by providing a comprehensive understanding of each student's strengths and areas of improvement. This allows us to tailor our educational approaches to meet individual students' needs, ultimately boosting academic performance and motivation in their personal journey too. By identifying students' interests, aptitudes, and personality traits, we can guide them towards career paths that align with their innate abilities and passions, ensuring long-term satisfaction and success in their professional and therefore the personal lives too. Additionally, psychometric assessments help in the early identification of emotional and behavioral challenges. Detecting these issues early allows us to implement timely interventions, supporting students' mental health and well-being. This proactive approach fosters a supportive and nurturing school environment, promoting overall growth and development. We encourage you all to engage fully in today's session, absorb the insights shared, and apply these valuable tools to better support our students' development and their success. Let's work together to equip ourselves with skills to guide our students towards fulfilling their professional and personal goals. I would also request that in the course of time, we would be taking up Q&As, and you all are requested to be engaged, be interactive with us through the chat that is available. And I assure you, we'll try to take up as many questions as possible in the time duration that we have in hand. Over to you, Gaurav, to take the session ahead. And thank you so much. And welcome, Rahul, once again to this important session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Niti ma'am, for these motivational words. I'm sure the participants will be very much keen on learning and getting in understanding a lot of insights from the session. So we encourage all the participants to fully engage in the session, absorb the knowledge which is shared, ask questions in the chat box. You can leave your comments in the live stream itself. We will be going through, we have a team dedicated who will go through each and every comment and chat which is shared. The questions will be picked up by me. I'll share the questions with our speaker, who's a wonderful person. You will just get to know him in a minute. Now, let me give you a brief idea about the flow of the session. So, before the end of the session, we will also share a feedback form link on the registration page. All the participants are required to fill in the feedback form, because filling the feedback form will enable you to receive the participation certificate that will be uploaded on 28th of June. The link for downloading the certificate is already shared in the circular. It is also available on the registration page. We will repeat the information again at the end of the session so that the process goes very smooth. You attend the session, gain the knowledge, ask questions, fill in your feedback. We can get your feedback, conduct more sessions, improve ourselves during the sessions, and also give you a certificate which you can download and keep with you. So let's embark on this journey of learning and growing together. And let me introduce our speaker for the day, Mr. Rahul J. Nair. Rahul J. Nair is a multi-talented chief liphologist and co-founder of Lifology with over 14 years of experience in human and organizational development. A certified professional coach, he is lauded for innovative concepts like the 7D model of organizational development. In addition to his professional accomplishments, he's a high altitude mountaineer and a former national level basketball player. He has been a tremendous success in different facets of life. That's why CBSE has highly recommended Rahul sir to be a part of the session and to guide all the teachers and counselors and principals, motivate them to understand how deep this process of counseling goes, how it can benefit the students. Mr. Nair has a very strong media presence as well. Many of you would have already seen him either on Doordarshan's Samvadam. He frequently appears on national televisions for discussions, and he is a grandmaster to the Hindu Spelling Bee contest. His versatility makes him a leading figure in both personal and professional advanced sectors. So, without wasting any more time, let me introduce Shri Rahul Nair. Sir, over to you. Participants are eagerly waiting to hear you.
Thank you, Karo. Thank you very much for your lovely introduction. And my sincere most thanks to the CBSE, especially to Nidhi Shankar Madam. Actually, we were working for the last year, we were together for the National Guidance Festival. And the association with me and CBSE is something great. Well, today I'm both challenged and excited. My challenge is that, I have only 1.5 hours to 2 hours to explain to you about a topic which requires at least 2 to 3 years of learning in depth. So I'm not so sure how well I'll be able to deliver the same in that aspect. But however, when I was discussing the same thing with CBSE, and CBSE was telling that do not go much deeper into the academic nitty-gritties or the minor things, and no more intellectual acrobatism. So let's go for the very straight and very simple one. And I'll try my level best to make it very simple. I'm excited because I could see the number of people who are watching me. As is around 4,000, 5,000 people are watching right now. I think the number will increase. So that will give me an extra heart throb. So just one thing which I have certain things is that, so if you can park your questions at the last, then I'll be able to take that question at the end. So Gaurav's team would be definitely screening a couple of questions, and I'll try my level best to make it as simple as possible. All right. So for the better aesthetics of the discussion, I would like to share the screen. And before I go forward, let me tell you how I personally started, because that's very important. When I was a student of psychology, I studied psychology, and then I really say that psychology is my girlfriend, and I'm having a great dating with that particular subject. I'm really loving it. So on the way, I was doing a lot of sessions and interventions with various corporate organizations, educational institutions. And from the past 14, 15 years, I got opportunity and blessings from different people to work together with them. And I was doing a lot of organizational development initiatives. And not only me, my team members, everyone. So initially, we started with several training programs or organization development ventures, like what are the best practices that can be followed in various organizations, and how we can elevate the quality of an individual to X level to Y level, like that. And however, on the way, we found a very, very tricky thing that is happening and prevalent in our society. One word I can say: the right people at the wrong place. I could see a lot in that. The right people at the wrong place. You know, the best thing that I can say is that there's a very wonderful story. One of my teachers, his name is Santosh Babu, is a very famous audio interventionist and located in Delhi area. So he is having a wonderful journey. So he was explaining to us about a story of one of his experience. He spent 5 to 6 years as a you know kindergarten or lower primary schools teaching small children, and then he was with a worldwide friend, and he was personally into dog training. I mean, training the dogs into that. So combining these two great learnings, he is now delivering great sessions to various corporate conglomerates around the world, and he's a very successful guy. So he was telling about one of his experience, that on a certain day he was training. He got a dog to be trained, and he was trying his level best to train, and he gave back the dog to the owner. But somehow he came to know that this owner, who was a lady, was not so much happy, and she was speaking a bit low about the dog trainer. And he called this particular lady and asked her, so I learned that you have some dissatisfaction on my services. So I would like to know more about it. And the lady said that, yes, my dog is not performing like my neighbor's dog. My I think that's some voice issue. Well, my dog is not performing like my neighbor's dog. So he was so curious. So it is a very interesting topic that, he said that I have tried my level best to train my dog, your dog. Then I don't know what is the difference between that. So I would like to have a personal visit to your home, and I would like to see the neighbor's dog. So after reaching that particular place, he came to know that the neighbor's dog was a Doberman. But whereas the dog which was possessed by this lady was a Pomeranian, a very cute Pomeranian. So from a Pomeranian dog, she's expecting the performance of a Doberman. That is not going to happen. So the functionality or the kind of expertise we can expect from a Doberman cannot be expected from a lap dog, which is very lovely, which is very that's more homely. But another one is a very ferocious one. So if you wanted the performance of a Doberman, buy a Doberman, keep a Doberman, than hiring or taking a very lovely dog, and then even if you give a lot of training, this is not going to happen. So coming back to the point, this is called the wrong hire. And we used to do a lot of sessions based on that. But however, the right people at the wrong place. And it is official also. It's not said by me. It said that only 5% of the people are in the right career by a person called Neil Hovey. He said that he's a father of generational theory with empirical evidence, as he was saying that only 5% of the people are able to reach their right career in the first attempt. Second and third, there were various discussions, and a couple of things which you used to ask the people, that if you want to know whether you could go land in your right career in the first attempt, whether the degree program that you studied and the job that you're doing, are they the same? Whether we could see a lot of people will agree with me that I studied degree, but I'm doing some other job. That means that the first attempt, it's not like that. I hope Gaurav will also say everybody's smiling here. So that's one acid test we used to say that. Well, coming back to the point, finding right career is not a simple thing. Finding right career needs a lot of introspection, a lot of support, especially when children, they will come up with their own whims and fantasies. And in psychology, we used to say that the people speak their world. Now, there's an interesting thing. I would like to share the screen, and from there I'll take it further. The most asked question to a child. What is the most asked question to a child? Can I have a quick chat? I mean, very quickly I can say, what is the most asked question to a child? Guru, what do you think? What is the most asked question?
Answers are, what do you want to be when you grow up? What career do you want to pursue? These are the answers you are receiving.
It's coming up. Okay, great. That's really motivating. Any clarity problem with the audio? People are saying that audio is there. I don't know.
Yeah, audio. If audio can be a little louder, sir, that would be great.
Okay, I'll
Yes,
speak
the
louder.
same answers. The answer to your question is same. What do you want to be when you grow up? That's the answers which are coming up.
So the same thing I'm saying. The what do you want to become when you grow up? This is a question. We heard a lot of time when I wrote a couple of essays when I was in my school days. My teachers used to ask me to write essay. English teacher used to ask me, "Hey, what do you want to become when you grow up?" So I wrote a lot of essays in that. But beyond that, see this question. When you ask this question, this is very interesting. When you ask this question, people speak their world. If you ask the same question in different parts of the world, we get different answers. Down in South, I'm from Kerala. I'm talking from a place called Trivandrum or Thiruvananthapuram. If you ask a child, what do you want to become when you grow up? I used to hear doctors and engineers. So yes, of course, this pan India, that phenomenon is there. But in northern part, in some particular pockets in Punjab, when I went there, that people said that I want to become a military man, because most of the people whom they have seen as successful are brigadiers or colonels or army generals, like that. And go to Delhi. I used to stay in Delhi for a longer time. In Karol Bagh, there's a place, a lot of businessmen are there. So they said, we don't want to become a chartered accountant or a banking professional or a businessman. And different places. It's all based on the information which they are getting from the society, around the society. So people speak their world. What do you want to become when you grow up is a most asked question. And I would like to see this particular question in a different angle. The angle is that, see how important the career is. Why this question is important. The teachers may be asking you this question, or teachers may be asking the question to the students, that want to understand whether the student is ambitious, whether the student is having a thought about the future, whether the student is having any direction to move forward in their life, and are they properly equipped. If the parents are asking, parents maybe the same way along with that, okay, how well should we prepare in terms of my finances? Yeah, like that. So the question is important, and I would say that 1/3 of your life is spent on career. So for an example, we live in this earth for 75 years. Just rough an example. 75 years, if you live in this earth for 75 years, we sleep for 8 hours, we work for 8 hours, and we do the rest of things, entertainment, etc., for 8 hours. If you take that 25 years, we are sleeping. We're not doing anything. We're just sleeping, sleeping, sleeping. Okay, in 25 years, we're spending on several entertainment activities and all. And another 25 years we are working. So that means 1/3 of your life is spent on career. Another one is that your identity, your personality, your identity, your very identity is closely connected with your career. That's why when you introduce yourself to somebody, you say your name, the very next thing comes is your profession. I'm Rahul, I'm a psychologist, I'm a lifeologist. Same way. It may be the title of your job, or it may be the career that you do. I'm a doctor, and or I'm a deputy secretary, like that. Okay. So these kind of words are closely connected with your career. So career makes the identity of an individual, and also success in one's career largely impacts the feeling of achievement and satisfaction in life. That much important. I get satisfaction when I get certain promotion, or I get a salary increment, or I get a new achievement or an award from my organization based on my career, or I'm getting from some source. So largely you can say career itself is life. Career itself is life. That's why we put this very word lifeology for our organization. Life is, we cannot move away. We cannot just forget. Okay, we can say so many philosophies, etc., related to that. Okay, life is balance, and however, I am convinced, or we firmly believe, without career there is no life, and life itself is career, or career is having a major role is in our career. And however, and this is a very interesting thing, how people select their career these days. So maybe I can have a quick discussion. Gaurav, how did you select your career?
Sir, I basically closed my eyes and just walked through, because I can completely relate to what you're saying. Uh, I just landed up somewhere because I was not able to make informed decisions when I should have made them, because at that time not much information was available, proper counseling wasn't available. We were not even aware whether the counseling is there, and it was mostly impacted by the people around me. My father is a doctor, so people just I used to hear it all the time that doctor ka beta hai, to doctor hi banega. So I thought, okay, let's pursue bio, but that was not my forte. Then some friends or some uncles or some other family friends had a different option, so I went in that direction. But I also took a very long time to actually identify and find out what I actually want to do, and then finally I landed up where I am.
Okay, okay. See, Gaurav, don't worry, you're not the only one. Empirically proved that you're not the only one who made such kind of initial, slips, or can say. So how people generally, maybe from different advices, or one of the most dangerous people from our profession is we found is that the uncles next door, very dangerous. So they will come, they will speak all these things. Anyway, coming back to this point, these are some of the mistakes generally people commit while selecting their career. Number one, following the trend, blindly following the trend. No, trend is temporary. Trend, we don't know how long the trend will last. If you look back, maybe or 10 years before, the career which was booming is not into any great position right now these days. Like doctors, engineers. Now these days we have a lot of engineers, and finding quality engineers, and this quality engineers, the engineers, they are forced to do many other additional certifications to work in the organizations. So engineering is like that, and definitely it's a all market demand and supply equation. And then second one is the location institution bias. I will study only from this place, or I would like to. Very interestingly, when we do the career counseling programs, and some of them will come and ask as that, or we ask, what do you want to do? We want to go to Germany, or we want to go to UK. Okay, then yes. And what career would you like to take? No, go to Germany. So Germany is a country, but what are you going to do in Germany? No, something good in Germany. So they don't have an idea, because only just thinking about a promised land. Just go there blindly. Location and institution, or it can say geographical biases are some of other things. Then modeling others, blindly modeling others, and then advices from the wrong sources, and glamour, just following the glamour elements. These are not going to help us, any of these things, and there are many other things as well. These are not going to help us in a larger way. We believe that the right career with 3P, the right career should be having a combination of 3P. P number one is passion, P number two is personality, and P number three is possibility. Passion, personality, possibility. So I would like to give you something about each. First of all, when it comes to the passion, this is a very tough thing to identify. It needs a lot of intervention, it needs a lot of introspection. And when it comes to children, the career coaches plays a vital role in it. If you ask somebody what is your passion, they will be speaking from their stories, or from their whims and fantasies. On a certain day, when we were doing a set of career counseling with a child, he was saying that he would like to become symbolologist or symbolist. So I had never heard about that career. So I asked him, from where he got this? And the Dan Brown. Okay, what is the connection with the Dan Brown and this? In Dan Brown's novels, there is a character, and this character, who is a hero, is interpreting various symbols and delivering a lot of lectures, and he's the key person in that particular movie. So he would like to become a symbolologist or symbolist. So interesting one to become a symbolist. Yes, research and what exactly it is, and should start with history, and then you should love history, applied history in various levels. And it's not that easy. It cannot be considered as a big career, or it's very rarely, a very less number of people are into that particular career. Same way, when some kid says that it is my passion, or when we also say we don't know, to a large extent, if you are not in a position to deeply introspect, we cannot find out what is our exact passion. Deeply, if you want to say something as passion, this is some good idea that I received from my teacher, Mr. Peter Reading, one of the key player in the International Coach Federation. When we are discussing, I asked him what is exactly passion. What can we call it as passion? So in order to call something as passion, three things should be, again, qualified. Part one is that if you want to say something as passion, it should be natural to you. Nobody should force you to do that. It should be natural. Naturally, you should be a communicator. Naturally, you are a person who thinks out of box. Naturally, you are very keen on numbers. Naturally, the first word is natural, and the second one is that when you do something, you should feel timelessness in when you do. I should not be looking at the watches. Yes, of course, I have to look at the watch right now because time bounds are there. However, so I should not be looking at the watch all the time. Oh, I'm doing this. Okay, the time is going to end. There will be a stage that you'll be forgetting about the time, the very element of time. I'm fully involved, you can say, fully involved. I'm totally into that. And natural, and next one is the timelessness. I am feeling timelessness. I don't bother about the time, and I don't care about this. I'll be into a different realm totally. And the third one is euphoria. Generally in psychology, we say that euphoria will be experienced when you're a small child. But again, highest level of satisfaction is the word we can use over here. So it should be natural to you. You should feel timelessness when you do that. And also you should feel a high level of satisfaction. Then you can say a great level of passion is involved in that particular thing. Whether there's only one passion or multiple passion, people can have more passion. But if you want to take something as a career, then you can consider this as one of the leg. I will not say that's the all. Follow your passion, follow your passion. Well, I used to say to my coaches, my people, when I go training, see, passion is a word which can misguide you. The passion is a word which you can definitely use it as a great tool or instrument to explore more and motivate the child or the client to move forward. Yes, but do not emphasize more on one dimension, which is passion, because the another one is the possibility part. Possibility means, see, I am passionate about something, but that the possibility or the opportunities are not present in the society. What will happen then? I'll be always thinking about my passion. I'll long on and long on and long, and the time will move on. Then I will not be able to be successful in my profession. And so many things I'll be losing on the way, my age, my health, etc. So passion, yes, you can definitely respect that. And you should keep in your mind, if you can find out the passion, well and good, or not one passion, there will be multiple passions, in my opinion. Possibilities is largely, for example, I want to become a petroleum engineer. So simple, we are in India. So I want to become a successful petroleum engineering. I like petroleum engineering. Even from the childhood, when I studied organic chemistry or petroleum related sciences in my school days, I was totally fascinated, and I'm very much interested to know about the internal combustion engines and all. I have great passion towards petroleum engineering, and I'm liking it. Yes, you can definitely. There are a lot of kids like that. We have seen that. But in order to become a successful professional in petroleum sciences, petroleum engineering, if you want to work somewhere, unfortunately in India, we don't have much petroleum rigs or such facilities. Definitely you have to migrate from this place, or you have to go there. The word migration is not a permanent one, a temporary. You can go there, you can work. So geographical possibilities may not be there in that. Then legal possibilities. Some of the country may not allow other citizens to perform several jobs. I want to become an army man in US. No, I don't think so, because I should be a citizen for most to become an army professional. I can be a consultant. Such kind of things are existing, but I don't think so. So that's the legal possibility problems. And like that, so many possibility issues are. Maybe my finances may not be allowing me to do it. My cultural thing. I still remember we were doing a training, a coaching program for a child, and the family was also involved. When we were discussing that the ideal career for this child is this, I don't want to name that. And then immediately family said that according to our culture, and since we are from this family, we don't entertain that profession. But though the child likes it, child is having a passion towards that. Yes, there are possibility in many other dimension. And the third leg, which is personality, was also in line. But however, the family said that culturally, we don't want anyone with that profession in our things. We have to respect that. I mean, those are the realities. If you can, convince the other people, and then if you can win over that, it's fine. But otherwise, those are so many, like, values are there. Geographical possibility problems, financial, and sometimes my academic performances, my academic marks may not be, my physical ability. Like if you want to become a pilot, if you want to become a pilot, your physical abilities are also demanded. Your length of your leg is also a parameter. If you have a longer leg, I don't think, when it comes to chopper and all, I learned it from one of my brother who is a pilot. He said that there are a lot of parameters, your eyesight. So the physical ability is also demanded, right? So the possibility will come in that aspect. and resources is also part of the possibility part. And the third one is the personality. This is a very, very interesting thing. And based on this, we'll be taking the session forward. Personality. Now, here, every profession or every career, while performing, this is the key, two things are there. This is from the study of Dr. Meredith Belbin in 1964. There's a very fantastic instrument called Belbin inventory, Belbin assessment. He said that in order to perform a job, a person should be possessing two things. Number one, we call this the functional ability. The functional ability. Now, very simply, I would take, we are all familiar with accounting practices. We are all familiar with banking. Now, at least once in our lifetime, we have gone to the banks. So let's take the functional ability. Functional ability means, in a simple words, you can say the knowledge and skill required to perform a job is called functional ability, to function in that particular career. So in banking, you should be having enough knowledge about the practices of banking, how to treat a check, which is check, I mean, on a daily basis, in the operational level, somebody is submitting a check. What is the treatment that you have to do in that? What should be the debit? What should be the credit? What should be the expenses? And like that. And then the skill to do that, the counting, or maybe subtracting, or maybe finding a X percentage from that. That's also part of the skill. And largely, the functional abilities are supplemented or trained by, it start from the school onwards, frankly. School, we are getting mathematics lessons. It will lay down the foundation for the future. So the banking, various treatments happening, rules and regulations, the knowledge part, and also the skill, how to deal with these people. I'm not talking about the customer relations, that kind of skill, not the soft skill part, the skill to do that particular job. Okay, the knowledge and skill combined will be called as a functional ability. Now, there is another interesting thing, which I believe it's one of the key factor to say something connected with the personality, which is we call it as a behavioral ability. The behavioral ability is that, every profession or every career demands several behavioral ability from an individual who is performing that. Now, coming back to the banking, what is banking? Banking, you're not supposed to take risk. The word risk, I'm not talking about the superficial risk. So you cannot put a debit into credit into debit. You have to follow the rules and regulations. And a person should be having a flair to sit down somewhere and work. It's a consistent work. First, a check came, I treated the check. Second, also a check came, I treated the check. Third, also a check, maybe a deposit, like that. So I'll be doing, sometimes in some people, in my point of view, I cannot do that because I don't have any behavioral ability for banking, because I don't like to do the things again and again and again, and the consistent way. So a person who is performing that particular job, banking, should be having an ability to follow the rules and regulations, do not take much risk on that, follow a consistent way of doing things, and respect the rules, regulations, and so many things. And if I don't have that particular behavioral ability in what I do, I feel one thing. There's a very interesting movie called Kung Fu Panda. I don't know how many of you have seen that particular movie, Kung Fu Panda. There's a very interesting, very, very interesting scene, which I used to speak to the people. This Kung Fu Panda, you watch it. I mean, the people who haven't seen that, please watch it. There is a scene that the hero is compared with 5 great warriors in the particular school. It's a karate school and kind of things. And then in the night, when he returns after a day which was a failure, or totally he failed in everything, and he felt very much disappointed, he's coming back to the dormitory where they stay, and he's talking to some of his friends and said, I don't belong here. The word is like that, I don't belong here. So the word belong here is that when you do something which you don't like, you'll always be feeling inside that I don't belong here. This is not the way which I'm supposed to live. This is not where I have to be here. I should be into something meaningful than this, something where I can find more happiness, meaningful happiness, and then I should be feeling a purpose in it. The third leg, purpose. And the fourth one is also important, because when it is a meaningful career, it's called financial security. Financial security, purpose, meaningfulness, and happiness. Happiness, meaningfulness, purpose, and financial security. The four combination. You can say A intersection, B intersection, C intersection, D, like that. So all these things should be there properly. We can call this a meaningful life will be there. Okay. So now coming back to the personality dimension. So functional ability and behavioral ability. So the behavioral ability, we should consider a larger way because it is connected closely with your personality. Here comes the importance of your assessments. Now, this is also a great thing which I liked it. So choose a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. The love, the very word love is not only on the passion dimension, it is also connected with the personality dimensions. The rest things will definitely line up, provided you should having that kind of resources and facilities and a little bit of courage to take it in a larger way. Okay, whoever is successful, they have gone through tough decisions, choosing one over other. Maybe all the successful people, they put their 100% effort, everything. So that love is always a combination of your personality aspects and also the passion element. Moving further, the assessments. So what is the importance of career assessments? And I hope the people who are watching me are into the teaching and career counseling activities, helping children to helping them to lead, to achieve or find out the meaningful career, right career, etc. And of course, every teacher should be a career counselor. Every teacher, in my opinion, every teacher should be having that kind of knowledge in guiding the people into the right direction, whether you're teaching math, science, biology, Sanskrit, Hindi, whatever it be, that kind of element should be there. And primarily, a element of counseling is also required. So today, from here onwards, I would like to take this session on the importance of assessment, especially on the psychometric career assessment. And you should also understand how an assessment is developed. A general overview is needed because some people reject the idea of assessment. I have seen many people say assessment is nothing. Assessment or psychometric assessments or any sort of pen and paper assessment or online assessments are not having any greater value. However, I would like to tell you, it plays a vital role. It is just like how you use matters a lot. How well you can, what your expertise matter, how well you can use the assessment, because that can give you a lot of idea, that will give you a lot of insights about the individual who is taking. And I know there are a lot of questions there. Definitely, I'll respect those questions at the end. Definitely, I'll address on that. Then popular assessments for identifying careers. A couple of them I'll definitely speaking over here. Then key points to consider when briefing a psychometric assessment. I'm sorry, in the beginning I was talking with the Nidhi madam and asking it should be very generic, do not go for more academic thing. However, a little bit we need to study on this because I believe some knowledge, some extra, not too much, very basic things I would like to cover. The importance of career assessment, actually, there was a person called Frank Parsons. He developed a century ago. He came up with some ideas, famous three-factor model of vocational guidance. The career assessments are largely connected with the vocational guidance or vocational psychology elements. And first, we need to consider the knowledge. Who I am, the self-knowledge is element number one. I should understand what are my capabilities, what are my capacities, what are my various abilities, skills, capability, capacity, mindset, where I am right now, my self-awareness, you can say. So self-knowledge. Then comes the knowledge of occupations. Very interestingly, one quick thing which we used to ask to the people that how many careers you can say in 1 minute. Okay, very less number of people could cross more than 30. I'm not talking about the title. I'm not talking about the title. Like medical science is one career, doctor is one career. Can say doctor is one career, nurse is one career. I know very quickly titles you may be able to say. A superintendent of police, inspector of police, circle inspector of police, like that. Those are titles, but actually policing is one career, right? So we know. I mean, normal common man. Even if you're into career profession, it's very tough to by heart, or it's very tough to say all the career list. It's impossible, near to impossible. I must say impossible itself. I have almost 10 years of experience in this field. Even if you ask me about some career, I have to refer, because nothing wrong in referring than saying wrong guidance or giving wrong guidance to the individual. So definitely go and refer. See, one fact is true. Knowledge of occupations are very less. Now, I'll ask you a quick question. Do you know there is a course? How many of you know there is a course called the Master of Football Technology? Master of Football Technology. There's a course. There's a program.
I, for one, have never heard about any such course, and I'm surprised that there is any course which is named like that.
You can search
So,
the Google.
requesting you to be a little louder if possible.
Okay, I'm trying my level best. I don't know. Maybe should I take
Better
it?
now, sir. Much better. Now it's better.
If you can. Oh, yeah. So the Master of Football Technology is a program which is given largely, the University of Barca is providing that. You can Google and you can find out Masters in Football Technology. There are different names for that. But however, Masters in Football Sciences, Master of Football Technology, these things are there. This is Master of Football Technology. If you study that, they are teaching you the in and out of how to give a better experience for the spectators, how to conduct a football competition. And just like cricket in our country, in India, football is very popular in Europe or in many parts of it. Maybe I think in terms of number of fans around the world, football stands first. So that's an industry. So they will teach you how to give better experience for spectators, players, referees, the association, channels, and so many things are there. There are a lot of things to study. So, and in connection with the Barca, there's a club in Europe. So University of Barca is providing, like, it's many Master of Football Technology. So we know little. I'm not going to say that particular thing. And Bachelors in Water Governance, another program which is not so much popular. There are many programs are coming because the world is changing. We say it as a great career crisis, because some of the careers are moving away from the globe. 10 years before, one quick example, I'd say stenographer was a popular one way back in 1970s or 60s or 80s. Now the old model of stenography is not there anymore. I don't know, in some government positions, yes, stenography is there. They are insisting on the typewriting things. I appreciate those things, but I'm telling the reality. In reality, in the older stenographer, you have to write shorthand with some dots and commas. You're totally taking a big speech. That kind of things are not existing. Instead of that, there may be DTP operator. The word has changed, the technology has changed. So the word stenography, the so-called stenography is not there. So the professions are changing, the skill requirements are also changing. Why should I say more? I mean, even teaching itself, you see, very long back, you used to do a lot with a blackboard. Now, in very less number of schools are using blackboards. Now you have latest technologies and the behavior of teacher. I'm not talking about the core fundamental thing. The expressive way when it comes to skill dimensions, etc., it is changing. Okay, so in future we'll be having driverless cars. It is a great threat to the drivers. So the world is changing, the occupations are also changing, and so as the courses are also changing. BTech in artificial intelligence is coming, and some of the program, BTech in computer science and artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc., coming up. So then the third element. So first of all, there should be self-knowledge. Second thing, knowledge of occupations. And third one, there should be true reasoning to match individual characteristics to the requirement of occupation. This third line is the key to unlock someone's meaningful career. And this was the birth of the scientific study of individual traits and their correspondence to the requirements of occupation. I have XYZ quality. I have these traits, objective qualities in me. And these objective qualities can be taken to a particular career or a field where I will be able to perform better, and that can be a great means of my living, or I can find more scope in leading my life. Okay, and career assessments remains central to vocational psychology and career development and counseling practice. Now, the career assessments, there are many, very a huge number of career assessments available in the world. Everything will be having different merits. Everything will be having some of the limitations. Everything you can use it. That's why, it all depends on how you use it, how well you're studied at. The mastery matters a lot in that. So the career development and career counseling practice for children, or when the school children, we say career selection guidance, not the career guidance. So that's a word which we use internally. That's a very popular word, career guidance programs. Career selection guidance is what actually we need to give to the children. So career selection, it should start ideally from the 8th standard, that orientation or kind of direction we should give from the 8th standard onwards, or 8th grade, can say 13th age to 19th age. That's a period where we can direct them. So once you select the career, if you're already into the career, then changing that one, it's not that easy or not advisable, in my opinion. So try to find the right one in the beginning itself. Now, so why we use career assessments? What are the major purpose of using career assessments? Improve client or student self-awareness of their traits and personal characteristics that are relevant to choosing a career or course. I already mentioned about it. I should be understanding who I am. I should be having a clear idea, so that it's not on a peripheral level. That's the important thing, which that's the important part which the career counselor should play. It's not by just simply saying that you're good for that. The client should be convinced enough. Otherwise, they will not be, my teacher told me to go, that is, I'm half convinced or not convinced. They're pushing me into that. No, they should be convinced. So when you use the assessments, use in the best way to convince the person that these are your personal traits and characteristics. And these characteristics and qualities, or the skill set, the mindset, or the capacity, capability are required for these kind of careers, and it may be suiting you. Then it can assist the clients and students to make good career decision. Then, of course, it can promote the career development growth. So the career assessments can be used for awareness, helping the client to make good career decision, and also to promote the career development growth program. And it support career coaches to assess the client or student career development needs, design career interventions. So what kind of skills that you have to imbibe before you take this particular career? What are the various skill set that you need to upgrade in you, which currently it is at 1, 2, 3, but you need to scale it up to 4, 5, 6. So you need to go through these kind of training programs, and then again you need to learn about this particular career. You should be improve these kind of your competencies, etc. Then also it will definitely help to evaluate the effectiveness of career intervention. The word career intervention means helping somebody to design their career. So now these days, the career designing is a word which is largely discussed in the career practitioners around the world. The career design, we are not just simply telling someone career selection or career guidance, career design. It's not a single point of fact. It's a journey. It's a continuous one. So once I enter into that, what's next, like that. So that guidance should be also be incorporated as part and parcel of the same. Now, examples of what we can assess. So when it comes to the personality, as I said, passion and possibility is to be considered, but the scope of psychometric assessments are largely to assess certain content of career choices and the process of career development. Interest. What are various interests? What are the various kinds of interests you have? And that will help to connect with the career adaptability. My career adaptability, my interest, whether I can adapt with those careers, the environment or the kind of returns that I would like to have from that particular career. Then comes the aptitudes. The word is career maturity, connecting with that. Aptitudes, you can say the various skill sets in a larger way. Then values, the career thoughts and beliefs. My value, I would like to follow several values, and I would like to see those values in the profession that I do. The career thoughts and beliefs will be closely connected with that. Then comes the personality dimensions, readiness for career problem solving and decision making. There comes the importance of personality, the problems in the career problem solving and decision making largely. Then comes skills, career self-efficacy, then career decision status, certainty or indecision kind of things. We can assess definitely through psychometric assessments these dimensions, these elements from employing a good psychometric assessment with a client. And there are largely two kinds of career assessment, psychometric assessment. One is quantitative, just like the word psychometric, measurement of the mind, you can say in a simple way. Certain aspects, we are quantifying certain qualitative activity. So traditional career assessments are there. Then psychological tests that produces scores that reflect the quantity of what is being measured. Example, strength of interest in an area. Psychology is being a soft science. You cannot quantify something just like how you quantify something in physics or chemistry. However, these are all, we can say largely, I can say orientations. That's a nice word which we use, or which I generally use, the orientation. Your orientation towards certain area or certain things are there. My strength. And compared to relevant norm group, again, a little technical, but main. And when it comes to the qualitative aspect, largely non-traditional. Career assessment that elicit client or student stories. Holistic view of the client student context that may influence their career decision making. And the main focus today is quantitative career assessment. Today we'll be discussing, and also discuss psychologists that have been psychometrically validated and focus on the content of career choices. Now, how the career assessments are developed. Please understand this. You can use any assessment. It's all up to you. It's all your freedom. In my opinion, or that's the right way. Follow a great career psychometric assessment, which has gone through the proper cycle of development. We can easily make a checklist, or we can quickly, from our experience, putting some questionnaire, asking people, and then come to a conclusion. First of all, this instrument is helping someone to find their life. This instrument that we are using and employing is trying to help that individual in selecting their life. So it should be, or it must be, in my opinion, a proper career assessment. The proper means that we'll see in detail. So it's largely in every properly made psychometric assessment will be having a strong career development theory. And that theory describes an aspect of vocational behavior from the theory of career development. For example, many career tests measures career interest as a construct. Interest can be defined as a person's pattern of likes and dislikes in relation to various activities. I like doing these kind of things. Yes, we can count it, but on a scale, there are many methods. Out of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, I like doing mathematics. This is one of the questions that we ask. I like doing mathematics. I'm not saying that I'm good in mathematics, rather this is a various way of construction. I like doing mathematics. Out of 5, where I stand? 1 to 5. So 1 means the lowest, 5 means the highest. Generally, we don't put the other way around, only very, okay, the methods are different methods are there. So there it is counted. If I say 3, the 3 will be taken out for several treatment thereafter. So a person's pattern of likes and dislikes in relation to various activities. So we will be connecting like that. So starting with the various career development theory, then comes create an item pool that represents a sample of behavior related to the construct from which predictions about other behavior can be made. For example, tick the activities you enjoy: repairing cars, studying motor mechanics, work on cars or motorcycles. We would predict that a person who ticked all 3 behaviors may possibly be interested in a job as an automotive technician. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, we don't ask this kind of question. I'm just giving you a simple answer, simple question, these items. If somebody's saying that I like doing repairing cars, I like studying about motor mechanisms, I read magazines, I am good in understanding various I don't like watching documentaries. I'm very good in understanding the science of how a motor functions, motorcycle functions, or car functions, and I like to work on that. So it can be, I will say that possibly we could predict, possibly, the word is again possibly there is a chance that this person can be an automotive technician, right? So then first with the theory, then we should be making the items, and these items should go through some rigorous psychometric research evaluation. That includes, first we call it as item analysis, could include range. So it's again a statistical treatment. Definitely, in simple way, we use SPSS, statistical treatment of SPSS is a software of Microsoft, I believe. So we upload this data, and we'll be getting the proper, the better equations from that, and we will be using the mean, standard deviation, and all. Then we go for the reliability scores. Is the extent of the result can be produced, and when career assessment is repeated under the same condition. So maybe if we use in one particular place, we'll be taking the similar kind of behavior from other place. That correlation should be the testing, retesting, etc. Some of the steps we do. Then comes the validity validity steps. And it's the extent of the career assessment results really measurable, measure that they are supposed to measure, build up over time. Often several research studies typically starts with factor analysis, exploratory and confirmatory. This all statistical treatments and all. Then comes the norming for different test takers, like that. So in short, a good psychometric assessment will be going through, or should be going through, a proper rigorous method. And some of the popular assessments which can help you. This is the most widely known or used assessment, maybe the first more, in my opinion, in the career assessment field, which we call it as RIASEC, RIASEC, RIASEC instrument. Also, it is called as a Holland Coates. Holland Coates is a person's name is Holland, and he came up with this theory in 1959, and again, some rework has been happened in 1997, the theory of vocational personalities and work environments. When it comes to the Holland Coates, this will, once you go through the assessment, at the end, you'll be getting certain numbers. That numbers will sometimes it will be more in one of these things. We can say the orientation of that individuals to select that particular career would be more realistic jobs. The realistic job means some maybe which is connected with banking or more structured way of doing things, etc. will be involved in the realistic job kind of category. Next comes the investigative. Third is artistic kind of job, social jobs, enterprising, and conventional. It's a pretty good instrument, which is having a huge user base, proven instrument, and one of the first practical user for this particular instrument is OStarNet, which is used by the United States, widely used those days, and still they are using it. And the ACT profiling is also part of that. So, and one challenge that I found when you deal with the RIASEC is that the list of jobs are too much. When it takes the realistic, it's a huge list you'll be getting. I think around 300 or 400 would be there in that particular thing. So finding again from that 300 will be challenging for the coach. But however, an active discussion with the client, helping the client to go through each and everything will definitely add a lot of value. So in each heading, there will be 300 or 400 or maybe even more, or some of them are very less, but still that is 100. So selecting from that is a challenge. Otherwise, it's a proven instrument we can definitely employ, and it's relatively a freeware in the internet. It's available. And then another one, which again based on the same thing, RIASEC, but it has gone through different other process based on the trait and factor theory from 1975, incorporating the Holland theory. And it's called the strong interest inventory. Strong interest inventory. It will be connecting you with the general occupation themes, basic interest scales, occupational scales, and personal style scales. So they have different approaches on that. I think a strong interest inventory is also a very old one. In 1975, they came up, and then here, the advantage is, as I mentioned earlier, it is more refined than the RIASEC, the conventional RIASEC. However, the challenge is that when it comes to India, the cultural sensitization is one of the major important things. Culturally, whether it is culturally sensitive, I think strong interest inventory needs a little more deeper, deeper involvement. And I have some challenge, or I have some personal disagreement with that part. And then another one is a very popular one, which is Minnesota Importance Questionnaire, derived from the theory of work adjustments by Doise and Lokis. Measures a person's vocational needs and values, which are important specifics of the work personality. Achievements, their ability, utilization, and achievements. Altruism, like with co-workers and the social service, and moral values. Comfort, their activity, their independence. Variety, compensation, security, and working conditions will be considered over there. Safety, the company policies and practices. Supervision and human relations. Supervision when it comes to the technical aspects, etc. Status, my advancement, whether the kind of movement, recognitions, authority, social status. Then comes the autonomy, the creativity and responsibility dimensions. Minnesota, it's again not from India. Then this is an instrument, but it's a very famous one called the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. It came in 1964, based on the theory of Carl Gustav Jung in 1921, based on the thinking, feeling, intuiting, and sensing. Then extroversion, introversion, feeling and judging and perception, that kind of things. So this is actually a personality inventory. It is not a career assessment, but some of the people, I've seen many people uses this for career advices. But I will not recommend for children in this one, because just by measuring the personality alone is not going to give you a clean idea or a bit more clear idea on selecting the careers. It should be added with a battery of assessment. In that case, yes, it's fine. In MBTI, at the end, you'll be classified into 14 categories. We can say that types, we say INTJ, like that, INTJ, IF, something like that. Sorry, not IF, INTJ, INF, like that. So that's what. Then it comes up, another one is a differential aptitude test, which is again a popular one, measures the cognitive aptitudes on your verbal ability, numerical aspects, abstract thinking and processing, your spatial awareness or spatial abilities, spatial thinking abilities, and mechanical aspects as well. So that is also widely used. That will give you an idea on various aspects. And then another one which we widely use when it comes to lifeology, we have a battery of assessment. We combine two things, one on the personality dimension, which we call it as a phase assessment, that we measure the fact, action, concept, emotion, whether they are structured way of thinking, their result orientation, their creativity, and their sensitivities will be measured in the first dimension. And also we use the framework of the Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence orientation. We are not measuring intelligence, and Gardner himself rejected the idea of measuring multiple intelligence. So we're not measuring intelligence, rather we use this framework to understand their orientation towards various intelligence part, or in fact, it's also connected with skills that we found it with our experience and all. So which is largely your logical ability, logical and numerical, mathematical and reasoning kind of abilities, linguistic or language, word smartness, we say, kinesthetic or body intelligence, your awareness about the body, etc. Visual or spatial, the ability to see things in space and appreciate the color patterns, etc. I'm just giving you some rough idea on this. I cannot go much deeper in that on everything. Then comes the interpersonal, how you deal with the people, the outside world, how you connect with people, how well you can understand the emotions and the other aspects of an individual when you deal with them. Intrapersonal is largely self-awareness, your own instincts, your own gut feelings, etc. What I can do, what I cannot do, etc. And rhythmic sense or musicality or musical sense, etc. And naturalistic is about awareness about the nature, exploring natures and all. And it's a 12 factor. We will be measuring on the 12 factors. And then based on that, the results are further calibrated using base scores or bands derived from data of professionals across various global professions. So we'll be creating certain bands in it. And then at last, it's our point of view. And also, I must say, this is something which I wanted to take it from here. So creates fitment scores rather than a list. We will not be saying that this is the best suitable for you. This is we say according to your assessment, your fitment X%, like 98%, 95%, or you have lesser fitment. That means it's not suitable for you. If you have more than 85 or 90, yes, it is considerable. The more the fitment, more the suitability. The career fitment analysis is derived from that. And this definitely helps the counsel to understand the client's orientation, leading to more meaningful conversation than aid in choosing the right career. But I want to say something now, why we use this career assessment. What is the purpose of using career assessment? The use of career assessment, I'm just stopping the slides for the time being, because this is very, very important. The career assessments should be used for the beginning of conversation, not for the end of conversation. I hope you got it. It's not ending of the conversation. It's only the beginning of conversation. So you have an information about an individual, which is taken from a scientific process, and you have certain numbers in front of you. And based on this, you can definitely have more questions and more interaction with the client. In a simple way, I can say, for an example, you're going to see a doctor. You have fever. Fever is only the symptom. I don't think fever, any doctor will say that fever is a disease. Fever is a symptom of some pathogen or some virus or some bacteria. I don't know. Well, you went to the doctor, and the doctor asked you to take a couple of tests, and you came back with the test after doing it from the lab, and the doctor will be having this list, maybe bilirubin 1.25, or your hemoglobin is on 12, like that. So you will be having. So after looking this doctor can say whether your health condition is normal or where it is standing. But again, the doctor will use their own instincts and experiences. For example, if you are measuring the hemoglobin content of a mountaineer. Now, I'm into mountaineering, and he explained to me about mountaineering. The hemoglobin content in our blood will be higher than the normal person. Because in mountain, the oxygen level is low. As a result, the hemoglobin produced by the body will be more, and the hemoglobin content will be more. It's true, it is proven. And the BP will be relatively lesser, low BP. We have experienced many times. And also, you have to use your other wisdoms as well. Now, I don't know whether it's right. You heard about a condition in your body called the Gilbert syndrome. Gilbert syndrome is that naturally you'll be having the bilirubin content more than which is actually in the band. 0.8 to 1.2 is the bilirubin content. If it is more than that, we'll be calling it as jaundice. If somebody is having more bilirubin, a normal doctor or somebody, after looking immediately, will be saying that the person will be having jaundice. But the Gilbert syndrome is something that normally this person, it's a syndrome, it's a condition that this person will be having more bilirubin in the body. So it is not affecting their any functions regularly. It may come down, or it will be moving away from the body. But however, there also you have to put your extra thought into that. Are there any chance for Gilbert syndrome? Okay. And then we sometimes follow something we call as a BMI, body mass index. Body mass index is again a mathematical calculation based on your weight and the height. Now, body mass index will go wrong when the person is bodybuilder, which is having good mass, zero fat. If the body mass, the muscle mass is more, the bone weight is also more. In that case, height in terms of centimeter minus something, and then you'll be getting some band. Obese Of course, a bodybuilder, if you take in that sense, the bodybuilder is an obese person. So there you need to use more of your wisdom, more of your experience to help the child to identify. Now, similar way, the assessment result, the assessment report, which you have, go for discussion, go for conversation. Then coming to a quick conclusion, use this as a key for starting the conversation. And even when I do the program, yes, of course, for the administrative sake, we ask them to do the assessment in advance, and we'll be using it everything online. And previously used pen and paper, but later the pen and paper, more clerical activities and spending unnecessary time. And now everything is online, and we have the facility. Let us be with the modern day world. So we use the assessments. And before I start the assessment, of course, I'll be studying, I'll be preparing before going for that. Before we start any conversation, I used to ask this client, how are you? Are you comfortable? How did you do the assessment? Did you find any difficulty in doing the assessment? The client will be saying sometimes it's very confusing. Some of them are normally expected one. And then I ask, what are your passion? Simply ask, what are your interest? And some other question, we call it as initial reflection exercise, IRE, initial reflection exercise. Initially will be, of course, there is a template. We'll be filling the bio data and what did you study? What are your various academic performances? Are you interested in some social activity? Do you have any volunteering experience? Are you into leadership roles somewhere? Are you into any co-curricular activities? Do you have any achievement in the co-curricular activities? Do you consider taking any of these things as your career? Or when somebody says that I am interested in engineering, okay, now tell me, why do you want to become an engineer? What value you are seeing in engineering that is connected with your life? Let that an initial conversation we do. And then we take this report. That's the best way that I found. Take this report, and then the report says this. Now, you said these things. Sometimes there are 3-4 conditions. One, what they wanted to do, and the report says, say, no problem. Then we can see that's giving a double confirmation, you can say. Then my understanding about me that I expressed during the initial reflection exercise, but the report is too different. Then we need to go for more discussion. Okay, now the first thing that I ask, did you do the assessment properly? Can the assessment go wrong? Now, this is a classic question that I used to get wherever I go. Can the assessment go wrong? My answer is yes. Any assessment, any test in this world can go wrong. Any test, let it be a class test, right? It can also go wrong. I mean, sometimes it may be cheating, looking at the other person's paper and writing down, or maybe entering with another, a small piece of paper where the answers are written. Like, so many practices are there. No, I don't want to stretch on that. There also you can go for cheating. And the pitfalls that can happen while doing the assessment is that, number one, a standard test will be trying to eliminate all these kind of possibilities. First of all, we have certain other norms. The language should be simple. The person should be able to reflect on the statements that we are giving. And that's why some of the foreign assessments are having some challenge. When you are under stress, among the following, what will you do? Going to the beaches? That's one thing. Second thing, going to a party. Third thing, maybe going to talking to a clergyman. 3 choices are there. Come on, these 3 things. How many of you do? How many of you can relate to these things? Going to the beaches. I'm from a mountain area. I don't go to the beaches. So first one is ruled out. Second one is party. No, I don't. I'm not a party man, so I cannot. I don't know what a party is. There are a lot of people. I'm saying the general party which the author meant may be different. And then third is a clergyman. No, I don't know any clergyman in my area. I'm not a Christian, so there's no connection with that. So any of these things, that's again a territorial assessment. It can be employed in that particular area, but it is not geographically free. So that's the part, the reflection. I should be able to reflect on that. So we have to bring in that kind of element in a good psychometric assessment. A good psychometric assessment will be ruling out these kind of issues. And back to this, if I'm not understanding the language, if some tough technical tricky words are there, that's why good assessments will always keep very simple language and not too long one. Again, if the sentence is too long, the comprehensions will be lower. I like doing mathematics. Very simple. I express this. But rather, if I'm saying I'd like to play with numbers and something like this kind of words comes in, you are putting too much, that will lead to fatigue. It will delay the thought process. And again, I may go into confusion and I put something which can go wrong. And then the cultural sensitivity issues. If I'm under stress, yes, we are facing the same thing. The mother and father is asking the child to do the assessment. The assessment should be completed within before 5 o'clock. That's the instruction given by the coach, maybe, because we'll be processing the data later. But the child is coming back from the school at 5 o'clock. The entire children are asking them to go into the ground and play. So the boy or girl who is sitting in front of the computer system will be thinking about the ball which is rolling on the ground than on the book, right? So when you're not comfortable, it can affect. So that's why we used to say, do it at a very comfortable time. Take it on time. Then there is no time pressure. A good assessment won't give time pressure. And then so many other things are like should be black and white, or so the visual appearance, etc., should be fine. And these things are related to the very construction sciences of psychometric assessment. And then stress, cultural sensitivity, then these are some of the things I believe. I don't think I missed the important things. Now it can go wrong. Now discuss these things with the client. Now, according to the assessment, it says that you are good for these things. Is it right? And say yes, is right. Sometimes no. So what do you think? It is no. That why the assessment came like this. This will enable the person to go for more detail and deeper discussion. And the discussion will be, we need to think. It's a deeper introspection will give. So then the briefing will go slowly. The assessment will give. It's an informed decision. It's always advisable to have something. If I don't have a psychometric assessment, yes, still you can give guidance. There's nothing wrong in it. You can guide the person, but you will be having something more authentic and scientific thing in front of you, which is a proven instrument. And that can give you a lot of idea. So use the psychometric assessment, or use an instrument, a good instrument, a proven instrument. And also fundamentally, you should study deeper aspects of that instrument. Starting from the very construct, how this construct, where the items are coming from, and where is the technical manual for that. If possible, read the technical manual. Try to understand that. Even if you're not from the psychology, of course, the normal technical manuals are designed in such a way to help the analyst, the psychometric analyst, to understand how it is constructed and all. I'm not saying that you should go for the treatments, the various correlations, how it is created. You need not study that, but at least you should study and have confidence in that instrument, whatever the instrument that you're using. So have a stronger understanding and be prepared for surprises. Okay, always be prepared for surprises. And I still remember when we were doing a program in Dubai, there's a girl from Russia, Elena Goncharova, that's what's her name. Very, very sweet girl. And she's a specialist in psychometric assessment. It's one of very rarely, because she used to do a lot of psychometric tests online, paying money and doing online. And eventually what happens is that she came to know that every psychometric assessment is having certain lineage, like certain track. So if I answer like this, the report will be reflecting like this. So she used to do, a very brilliant girl, and her family wanted her to become a doctor or such kind of profession, engineering, technical professions. But she wanted to become an artist because she likes to draw. She draws a lot. Purposefully, she faked it. Now, there's another one. Purposefully, she faked it like, I like doing mathematics. I'm just repeating the same question. So she is good in doing math. She's good in doing mathematics. She likes doing mathematics. She put 1. Automatically, what will happen? Certain professions that are connected with mathematics, that demands the abilities of logical intelligence, that demands the ability which is connected with the numbers, automatically, the report will give you the opposite one. And when it comes to I like drawing. There is no question like that and it's not nice also. And she put 5 for that, or the highest one for that. Again, that's again the person, if you're not understanding, if not reading the instruction, again it can go wrong. If 1 is for the low and 5 is for the highest one, the understanding of the very construct of the instrument or doing the assessment, if he's putting 5 for the low and 1 for the high, that will also go wrong. Okay. And this girl, ultimately, what she got whatever she needs. And she came for the thing. We are smart enough to understand these things, and we had her academic records also. She was doing really fine. And after a couple of minutes, and she agreed that, yes, I did the assessment wrong because my family is not allowing me to do this, but I'm very much passionate on this. Okay, fine, no problem. We'll help you. So we could guide her, and she's now I think she completed her graduation in artistic things from France. Okay, so helping them, the assessment can be used as a supplementing document. It's not everything, but however, it can definitely play a vital role in doing that. How many minutes we have on this further?
So we still have a sufficient time to go. We have another 20 minutes. If you want, we can go ahead with the questions also, because we have got a lot of questions. Participants are very excited, and there are a lot of questions that we've been receiving.
Sure. I'll do one thing. I'll just finish this PPT thought. Key points to consider this last few slides only.
You can take the 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes with this.
No, then I'll go to the question. I like answering questions because that makes more sense. I don't know I always respect the people. They know much better than me. So the questions, let it come. Establish a collaborative relationship between the career coach and the client or student. These are some of the things which you need to. So always make the client comfortable. Always make the client. The word client means the student. The student comfortable, and the student should feel the confidence in you that the person sitting in front of me is to help me to find my career, than forcing me to take something. That confidence you have to give. And this discussion always to understand the possibilities of me moving forward. Before giving a career assessment, explore the client or student characteristics and that are relevant to assessment. Try to understand the characteristics, the student, what are they good at? That's what the initial reflection exercise. But for practical purpose, when it comes to huge numbers, we employ the assessment in advance, and we follow that. But however, that is also an idea. Explain the purpose, content, and the potential benefits of the career assessment. This is very, very important. You should give an idea. We are trying to help you. This is not a test where we'll be classifying you as a best student or worst student or better student, nothing like that. This is to explore the innate abilities and your strengths and associated weaknesses. That can be considered for selecting the career in future, to have an informed decision. Then get the clients or students permission to take this career assessment. The consent is important. Properly, generally, we ask them to sign a contract or at least send a mail so that I'm interested in that. Of course, that is strict in various foreign country. In India, that's not that much practiced. However, a consent is needed. At least a verbal or oral consent is needed on that. And giving clear instruction on how to complete the assessment. What are the various methodologies? When it comes to career assessment, the methods are very much like there is yes, no. I like doing mathematics, yes or no. Yes, no. It's zeros and ones treatment. Then I like doing mathematics 1 to 5. Where do I stand? Most likely, least likely, in between the two bands. And then among the following, you rearrange your liking: maths, science, history, politics. Put the first one in the first one, second one. This is called the forced choice method. There's another methodology. Another methodology is frequency distribution, choice distribution, you can say. You have 3 points. You can put 3 points in for subjects. Okay, and the methodology. So if I put 3 on the first one, then I will be putting 0, 0, 0. Like that. So different methods are there. Then ensure the client or student is comfortable in the assessment setting. And we remember when a certain day, a client walks in, very long back, client walks in with the mother. The client was doing the assessment. The mother was sitting next. Then a question again came. I like doing mathematics. The client put 1. The mother started shouting, no, it's not like that. You have to put 5. No external intervention. The client should be comfortable. Allow them to be very comfortable, and the setting should be fine and brighter. Let it be a pen and paper or on screen. Give an individual interpretation of career assessment. Individual interpretation, it depends again, that's what conditions apply. Generally, when we to always take the support of the family, father, mother, and the client. The reason is that irrespective, this is our understanding, core understanding. We have operations in almost 14 countries and 54 nationalities are uh, regularly in touch with us. Almost 151 ethnicity we have done. Irrespective of the caste, color, creed, race, nation, family plays a role in helping a child or in tracking a child's career. Family plays a vital role, not only in India. In other developed countries, in some culture, they listen more, children will be heard more. That's only difference. Otherwise, always we appreciate if parents are also there. That's good. And always be positive. That's another thing. Only, when this is a instrument, an instrument can speak a lot. We can emphasize more on the weakness part a lot, but that's not going to help us. Let's focus more on the strength. Be a very motivating person when you interpret those things. And interpretation of the career, give an individual interpretation specific to that person, giving the briefing, ensure the client or student understands the meaning of assessment results properly. They should be convinced on that. And consider blending qualitative and quantitative career assessment together. Some qualitative things, and also for that passion element or passion part, we can do that. And then anyway, so these are things I just skipping a part because I would like to go for the question, Gaurav. I think I'll take that part. I'd like to do that. Any question? That.
It had been a wonderful and such an informative session. There were so many things. I am myself very much interested in the subject, and we have been getting a lot of wonderful comments and in the chat box. Also, everybody is very much excited. And now let me start with the questions because we have a lot of questions that have been asked. So now the first one that we have here is, which is how often should career assessments be conducted during a student's academic journey, and at what stages they are most beneficial?
Okay. Foremost, when it comes to Q&A, I will allow me to restrain from several questions because whatever I know, I'll definitely speak. But if you ask me about any specific instrument that are not familiar with me, please, I may not be able to answer. However, now coming back to this particular question, what should be the frequency? Well, that again depends on the instrument. Some instruments cannot be repeated that quickly because your memory will operate. Okay. So there are some instruments, like for an example, when it comes to a face assessment, we have face and MIO. When it comes to face assessment is trying to understand various personality orientations of an individual to the core level. And once you interpret the assessment, the person will be knowing when they do it again, okay, this stands for this. Though we don't want that to happen. So we don't entertain the face assessment frequency just like that. Maybe after 2 years, yes, you can. Meanwhile, I'm sure the person will be forgetting that. And again, when you do the test, pre-test, no much difference. Only some milder points will be different. Otherwise, a tsunami should happen in their life, or big turmoils might have happened. So the frequency depends on the construct and based on the very instrument's behavior. But when it comes to the MIO, multiple intelligence, or that can we entertain the repetition. For an example, in my 8th standard, I'll tell you the real case, okay? 8th standard, when I studied mathematics, I'll come back to the point. When I studied mathematics, I was very good up to the 5th standard because there was a beautiful teacher. I was totally liking that teacher. I don't want to be, I would like to be a blue-eyed boy in that teacher's eyes. So I was studying maths very well and I was good in that. But when I entered my 6th standard, the entire medium of instruction changed from my mother tongue. I was not, I was into one particular medium, but the medium of instruction changed. I was into English, and the medium instruction in 6th standard only they changed. Then what happened is I lost the motivation in doing that, and moreover, the teacher was not so pro or not that that liking part towards me. So eventually, I started hating that particular subject. So 5th standard, if you ask this question, I like doing mathematics. Yes. 6th standard, I like doing mathematics. No. 7th standard, no. 8th standard, no. 9th standard, partially yes. 10th standard, I got a brilliant teacher back. So some of things that environment, if the environment factors are influencing directly, such kind of assessments can be repeated. So 10th standard, I like. I scored really well in 10th because of the teacher. I got it back, everything. So he can repeat. Such kind of instruments, that kind of assessment we can do. Now, when you should do, ideally, you can start from the 8th standard. You'll be getting an orientation, an idea. And if sometimes some of the parameters may be low, I'll give you a good case study. A person, one of the most successful case study. The boy is from Dubai, actually. I was doing some training program for Emirates Aluminium. That's a big company, and same on these psychometric assessments and all. We have so many other things for adults. So we were employing some adult instrument psychometrics, and there's a lady from India. The mother came to me and said that your instrument is fantastic. I'm liking it. Whatever you're saying is exactly my behavior, and I have a request. Can you help my son? So it all started very long back, not this present situation. So yes, I can definitely help you. So we did the assessment, and before that, I asked this boy, "What do you want to become?" He said, "I want to become a robotic science engineer, and I'm interested in studying computers, etc." So we did the assessment. The result came in a very ulta. Okay, so that means he wanted to become robotic science, and then robotic science or even engineering is nowhere in the list. It's a raw form, very long back. Now we have refined it in a very different way, but the results are the same. So the boy was disappointed, and I told him that according to the present condition, you are good for the counseling activities, psychology, community social work. I said, I don't like it at all. And he started crying. And the mother also much worried. And then we stopped it. And they were very much convinced because we are saying the behavior bullseye. The boy is like this, the boy's behaviors are like this. And even we could correlate with his academic performance with the result. That much level of precision was there. The excellent way. Then mother again after 1 week called us and said that his boy is very much demotivated. We did it in its 9th standard, very much demotivated. So then what can we do? I said there are many ways. I have a reason to say that this person is having lower orientation, but he is passionate about it. If he is passionate about it, I would like to intervene in much. So when we entered in that, I asked this boy, do you like maths? No. I don't like mathematics. I don't like science, but I want to become a robotic science engineer. Do you think you can become a robotic science engineer if you don't like science? Because it's all science related subjects. You should be good in that. Okay, then what can I do? So you don't have basics. You go back to the basics. Now you are studying in 9th standard, start from the 6th standard subjects, take 1 month, lead a hermit's life, take a good foundation and come back. Start enjoying that and change the family changed, the tuition teacher, one-on-one tuition was employed. So many practices we could do that. So then as a result, in 10th standard, he scored relatively good. I'm not listing all the practices which we recommended. In 11th standard also, he did really well. And 12th standard, he wrote the scholarship for National University of Singapore. And he got Singapore Airlines scholarship and he studied graduation in engineering from Singapore University. And then after that, he went to UK for a short program in robotic sciences and came back to National University of Singapore, completed a robotic sciences engineering from there. Now he's a professor. He was a professor till last year. Now he's working in a department in Singapore. Very successful story. Now, where we can use and how should we use? When you employ a psychometric assessment in a lower class, if you find that the desire or the passion is not in line, a passion in a sense, roughly, and I'm interested in these things, it should be a combined decision from the family. Because of these elements, these factors, why don't you work really more on that? See, why we are saying that person is not good for this or not good. I mean, the orientation is low for this, the orientation is high for this. There is a reason. Some of our attributes are low. Why don't you start working on that? There's a lot of practice. Like with the mathematics, they're not good. They're not really good in mathematics. We are blessed with Vedic mathematics techniques. We have abacus programs and speed mathematics things. Get mastery on that. Try to learn more. Every child will be having their own language. You speak that language, that will understand. Sometimes it's again practically also some issues will be there to teach every child in 40, if there are 40 students in a class, every teacher to connect with the individual child. Like that. Anyway, so give it language. So definitely it will help. So we can help them to improve. So that then after 1 year, you can repeat that similar kind of assessment. So the frequency depends on the construct and the behavior of the instrument. If it is a core, if it's a one-time use instrument, or the frequency is 2 years or 3 years, don't repeat it. Otherwise, you can use it. When it comes to RIASEC also, I must say, give an interval of 1 year. Let it be any instrument, give an interval of 1 year. Don't do that. Please Because if you do, immediately this result will go wrong. The reason is that your memory is operating. Okay, so don't do that. So frequency 6 months to 1 year, but ideally 1 year. Do it in the 8th standard, July. Next year, 9th standard, July, do that. There will be difference. There will be some increase and decrease, or some attributes will be high, low. It's learning for that. That's my answer, I believe. It made some sense.
So the next question is regarding any learning resources. So are there any popular books available, some bestseller where the teachers can read, and anybody, any teacher or counselor who wants to get deeper or to get started? So can you suggest any resources, any famous author or any resource available online to get started on their journey towards this direction?
That's a tricky question, actually. There is no one resource. There are many, many, many resources. But however, see, since the first mover in that particular field is like the Frank Parsons work, you can definitely refer. Rather than going for one single book, rather you can go for some famous good articles. That helped me a lot, frankly. Reading one long book, there are a lot of things inside, and that author will be speaking from his point of view. There will be a lot of summaries of books or refined articles are there. You read those kind of articles. Another one which I'm suggesting is the RIASEC framework. Also, you can definitely work on that. And yeah, so I don't have one single book to refer, but you can check in Google, the America's ONET framework. There are a lot of reading resources in that. And there are a lot of free career counseling programs happening, career coaches training programs are happening. In Coursera, there are a couple of training programs in there. You need to enroll, and if you want to get certified, pay $50 and all. I found a couple of them in that. Coursera or edX.com, either of these two. I forget about it. edX.org or Coursera.org, somewhere. Yeah, I don't have one single resource to suggest over here.
And certainly, I guess from your presentation, there was so much content. So the participants have been looking at that. Some of them must have taken screenshots, and the session will also be available for a review later. It'll be there. The session will be recorded and made available by CBSE. So even the participants, I think they can look at the slide, do some exploration, and they'll find a lot of online resources on the content that you have shared. So I think the session itself is a good starting point in that direction. So now the next question that we have is regarding anxiety of the students and parents. So the question is, lots of parents have anxiety, and even the children have anxiety related to their careers. So how can a teacher help in getting rid of that anxiety?
So the anxiety may be due to two things what I found. One, they have worry about the future, right? So no parent in this world wanted their children to suffer. Every good parent wanted their children to lead a good, successful life, about the future. Second is about the lack of skills. I mean, the child is, so it's all about the comparison or comparing with someone like that. It happens. So many, many, many reasons. Well, first of all, we say when we go for the career counselings, it should be it's a progressive activity. It should be motivating, the conversations, etc., highlighting on the strengths of the child. With your nobody. I mean, I'm not so sure, but however, from my experience, I say nobody works on their weakness and overcame the weakness. Weakness, we cannot think much, but you can manage the weakness to a large extent. Work on the strength part. Speak good about the parents. Give them more confidence. When we used to get the similar kind of clients, when they come, we say, first of all, your anxiety will kill. Your anxiety will bring a lot of nonsense to your life. First of all, understand, and there are a lot of space in this world. When you do something which is in line with your behavior, when you do something which is in line with your passion, and when we explore the possibility, slowly the anxieties will move away. It's not that easy. Even if I say that, it's when it comes to a practical level, focusing more on the student's strength part, objectively, these are things that can definitely consider. And there needs a counseling, the clinical counseling techniques, listen to them largely, then talk to them, and let's be very positive on that dimension. When it comes to career part, The assessments can play a good role in helping them to explore them and understand them, and then guiding the people. But beyond that, I think we have limitations in removing the anxiety, but we can be very positive, and that's the answer that I have right now. I think I'm not good in that answer, giving that answer.
Certainly, it has been such informative. Now, there is another one is I think the question is how can teachers integrate psychometric assessment result into their teaching strategies? So, if you can guide towards how they can start, at least take the baby steps towards including this psychometric assessment in the teaching strategy itself.
Okay. We used to do a lot of training programs for teachers, the faculty development programs. And in that one, we use this same instrument, the adult instrument, and we, the one line, Gaurav, see that we have heard a lot that treat others in the way which I would like to be treated, right? Treat others in the way which I would like to be treated. Do you agree with the statement, Gaurav? And you're on mute, I think.
Certainly.
Yeah, so treat others in the way which I would like to be treated. It's a word we are listening. Well, I totally disagree with that statement. Treat others in the way which I would like to be treated. On a very moralistic, socialistic point of view, yes, it is right. Yeah, it is right also. But my disagreement is that treat others in the way which they would like to be treated. Treat others in the way which they would like to be treated. That's the best way. That's the best practice that we can bring in. Now, everybody will be having a different, unique personality. And our conversation, our way of leading the life, our expressions, our studying, our learning styles, etc., are part and parcel of our personality. When a teacher delivers, this is for teachers, largely teachers are listening. When a teacher delivers, the teacher will be delivering from that personality part, right? Say, we could see a lot of teachers. Some teachers we like. It's quite common. Some teachers we like. The teachers that I like may not be the teacher that my friend like. What's the reason? Because the teacher that I like is in line with my personality. And the word I'm using personality, that way of communication, organizing life, the telling the stories, or the way it's approached. And there are a lot of teachers who are very systematic, very structured, very scientific, very tuck, 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 tuck. But some teachers may not be like that, very funny, very jovial. But both of them delivers, both of them makes impact on children. Some of them will be like that, some of them like. So when we go onto the floor, when we deliver the sessions, we will be operating on our personality part. Here comes the understanding. An awareness level should be there on a higher level, that in front of me, there are various kinds of personalities, various kinds of people. If you know who are they, what are their, what kind of category of learners are in front of us, say, that's again another instrument that's not connected with us. We don't use that over here, like Kolb's learning cycles and Bloom's taxonomy kind of things we'll be using, and we have instruments for that. If you know the cross section is having, there are a lot of learners who would like to hear more examples and stories, then I have to adjust my subject, but not everywhere. Mathematics cannot be brought with many stories. If possible, incorporate that kind of qualities in that and then deliver. So psychometric instrument will give you an idea. If teachers are taking that assessment, teachers will get a larger, deeper idea about the behavioral dimensions of an individual. The teacher themselves will understand. These are the strengths that I have. These are the associated weakness I have. But I have to keep in my mind regarding when it comes to the associated weakness, I should be managing those weaknesses and deliver it. The psychometric assessment is largely an indicator. Okay. Now, the better usage where you can use this particular things, when you use it as in a classroom, then the teacher will be having an idea. X number of students are having an orientation toward this kind of delivery. So I can adjust that delivery accordingly. And I can practice that thing in the classroom. That's the best way to use this instrument. First, for myself, for my core better understanding, and then second, for the delivery to make the classroom lessons better. Yeah.
there is another question. It's a little, I would say, a generic question, but an important one. The question is how to deal with the peer pressure, societal pressure, and pressure of parents regarding career planning. So I think the question is from a perspective of a student, where somebody wants to know how to deal with the peer pressure, societal pressure, and the parents' pressure when it comes to career planning.
Again, another tricky question, anyhow. So it's again, these things are case to case matter. But however, a larger understanding about the careers, the larger understanding of, say, same those mistakes which I explained in the beginning, like the following trend blindly, it will kill you. It is not going to help you. Borrowing or the geography biases or the people, the uncle next door's son is going for this and you should also go for this. This kind of comparison, just don't do that. It's my prayer to the parents largely. Don't compare your children and don't think that they can be a great, they will be great, but we have to give time. So many things need some time. So your child maybe slow learner or fast learner, but don't compare with other person. Your child is unique, and that uniqueness you have to explore, you have to nurture, you have to give more strength on that. And that's peer pressure. What is peer pressure? Again, peer pressure is like everybody around you are going for these kind of things, and why are you not going? I'm not going because I'm unique. So the proper understanding should be there. When I completed my 12th standard, that time the trend was male nursing, the nurses, boys going for nursing activity. A lot of people went there. I too got the pressure, but somehow I was not much interested. However, I had plans to go, but my family stood with me and said that no, that profession you may not be suitable. So that confidence they gave me that you're good for something else, you're good for management kind of jobs, or you're good for psychology or people related jobs. So this is again people related. Nursing is also, but you'll be much more happier in the other one. So you just wait, don't worry about it. So those people went, and some of them are successful, some of them couldn't do well. So peer pressure can be treated only with ignorance, and that ignorance, that family should be functioning as a single unit and understand, listen the children more on that. And then when a lot of peer pressure comes, good counseling activity should be given that. Then but the next one is, you said, the parental pressure. Their counselor's role comes in. See, the pressure comes from the anxiety. Try to remove the anxiety by giving them more understanding about the world. See, here we have opportunities, a lot of opportunity. None of the careers are going down. Every career will be changing the behavior. World is changing, of course, but the career is changing the behavior. You cannot play. There is a great statement by Marshall Goldsmith. What takes you here won't get you there. So far, you have done up to now all the tricks that you have played right now. You need to change the trick. You need to change the game plan, and therefore the future destination. So that is happening everywhere. It happened when they were children. It happened when their parents were children. So the world is like that. So more awareness, more learning, more patience is needed, and more confidence. I must say, what should we give to the children is to give them hope and give them love. Two words. When I go for my some of the speeches, they ask me, what are the two things the parents should do or the teachers should give to the children? Two words, only just two words. Give them hope and give them love, right? So that is very, very important. That these two things definitely are the greatest medicine for any kind of anxiety, any kind of peer pressure, any kind of nonsense, negative energies that is reaching you. Give them hope and give them love. Things will be all right and fantastic. I think Nidhi Madam also will appreciate that point, right?
Yes, because I really, really, like this point of yours, and I understand it completely. Because see, what we always per se and see around us is that when a child goes out in the society, that at times is very brutal. Nowadays you don't even think of whether it will be a child of 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, or it will be an adult of a 55-year-old or 60. People around or the peer groups are as such at times can be really, really bad. So, in such a case, if a child comes back to the family, to the parents, to the siblings, and they give him or her the love and the hope, yes, that hope you can do it. You are capable of doing it. You need not listen to what others are saying. They don't belong to your family ecosystem in such a way who can understand more than any one of us. So this is one crucial aspect which I think would give him or her the strength to take the world and believe in himself or herself, and move ahead in life. So I think hope and love coming from the family and near and dear ones is the key to everything for me at the moment, which I can understand. So carry on. Thank you so much.
Thank you for chipping in. So, any other question?
Thank you, ma'am, for the words. And one question which has been coming up again and again had been basically it says, I'm quite intrigued to know what is the Guinness Book of World Record for the one hanging on the wall.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, actually, we are the Guinness World Record holders in the arena of career assessments. So most people taking career assessments in the world, that records is with us. So it started in 2018 on a single day, on a single moment, we gather people, but still in terms of number around the world, we have more than 2 to 3 million people taking assessments in our platform from 14 countries. So that's why. So Guinness World Record is for that. But that's one of our records that we have many other accreditations. Like we have ISOs, we have many appreciations from University of Derby, different universities, part. So that's why we one of the greatest thing is that we are trusted partners for CBSE in many affairs and many activities. We could work with them on that. The National Guidance Festival 2022, 23, and 24 is starting. Of course, with MeCAT, also Media and Entertainment Council, we are also partnering. We appreciate more that than this one. This is all for, frankly, for wow factors.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. And if I look at the questions, they are just coming in at a very fast pace. We have hundreds of questions. Now, since we are almost done with our time, so I'll take one last question and then we can request all the participants to please post your questions in the comments. We'll take those. We'll try to answer it in the comments itself. And it has been a very positive response from the audience. They have given very good comments, very good suggestions also. And I mean, we are getting wonderful session, very informative, all sort of positive reviews. So one more question which we have here is, basically, okay, it's a similar question regarding peer pressure, but it's in a different way. I think the question is same. When a child is choosing a career, they are highly influenced by their classmates in selecting. I mean, I think, sir, we have already answered that question. You recently answered that. So that was the last question which we had. And it had been a wonderful session, very enlightening, very informative.
I'll take 1 minute because I found one interesting question over here. I was also fairly finding regarding the sports and other kind of things. So that's one interesting thing that like people are not interested to go. I mean, parents will be saying that don't go for sports, you don't have any scope on that. Well, through the assessments, that's one limitation of the assessment is that you cannot find out whether the person is good in sports or arts, such kind of things, because with pen and paper, we will not be able to measure. That's impossible because we have numerous levels and kinds of performing arts, performing sports. Largely, that should be identified with a specialist in that field, a coach or a trained person, or maybe a referee also can to a large extent, but not too much. Referee is somebody who's running the show. To become a performer, so that was connected with YouTube, that's kind of with so many things are there. I mean, I'm not going to that part. To become a performer, I must say there are 3 levels. Level 1 is you should be a pupil. Again, 3P, pupil, performer, and professional. Pupil means study well, play well, understand it well. Whether you're a singer, practice well. Whether you're a player, practice really well. Like how Sachin came in. Let's take the simple case study. Sachin was a good student, who made their teachers famous. Who made the teachers famous. So Sachin was a student, pupil, studied well, really well, and then started performing in small cricket tournaments and all, but not for money. Then he became the professional, 3rd level. So these 3 levels should be treated properly, and everywhere you're increasing the probability of success in that particular level. And when you should do that, when it comes to academics, this is one mantra I used to say: give focus for on academics. From the very practical experience, I'm saying I have seen many failures in that. That's why I'm saying in this, the time span is very short, maybe 15, 14 years only I have experience, but that's my professional experience. But I have seen my friends who went for games. I was a basketball player. People who played with me are not doing really well, who performed really well and played for our country. Unfortunately, because sports, some of the sports are not much accepted. Well, take academics seriously and very seriously. Give, that is very important. Hello? Am I audible? Okay. Hello? Madam?
Yeah, hello, hi. Yeah, we are there. Actually, I think Gaurav is also here. Please, over to you, Gaurav.
Okay, I'm just finishing this part. When you should do.
Sir, ma'am, with your permission, we would like to conclude the session and really like to thank Neeti ma'am for making these sessions possible. Rahul sir, for this amazing information that you have given. The presentations, they were so informative with proper details. And I think all the participants would have found it very useful. The comments are very positive and they will also pursue. Most of them will certainly pursue, look at the information, trying to find more, explore more. And we'll also share this particular session. The recording will be available for the participants to go through it again. They can share. And CBSE will basically continue to do such sessions. We have one more session coming up tomorrow. So before concluding the session, I would really like to inform all the participants that the feedback form link is already available on the registration page. Please go back to the registration page, click on the feedback form, fill the feedback form, which will enable us to generate certificates of participation for you, which will be available to you on 28th of June on the link which is already given in the registration. So let me repeat, please go back to the registration page, click on the feedback form link, fill the form completely. That detail will help us in creating certificate of participation, which will be available on 28th of June on the link which has been given in the circular. Neeti ma'am, I would request you to please conclude the session.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Rahul, for really a very innovative session and very, I can say, interesting and informative. Are very small words to put it together, but the way the people are reacting and the response that we all are getting on this particular session speaks in itself. And we promise to continue these series and try to put in as much as possible for our stakeholders. And it is a request that if you all have any queries, any questions, or if you want a particular session to be focused on a particular topic, do let us know. There are various means. You can put it on the chat, you can put it in your feedback form, wherever you want. And just to add to it, we would also be putting the YouTube channel of CBSE's link, wherein this particular session and all the sessions that will be conducted on counseling, career counseling, psychosocial counseling, or such things would be put up as a repository, so that you all can really go in if you want to relook into something that Rahul has said, or there was some question that you want to have a repeat go through revision, I should say, in the language of our school system. If you want to revise anything that you have listened today and you have tried to grasp it, please go through it. And the CBSE headquarter link we would also share in the chat, and Gaurav would also pin up for all of you. Thank you so much, and tomorrow again we'll all be here, same time, same place, with another interesting session from one of our important resource person, who's Mr. Ajitesh Sharma. And I think we all should look forward to it. Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you. And thank you all the participants for being here. And 2 hours is not a small time zone in today's world. But sitting and interacting and grasping what is there to offer speaks volumes of the interest that has been generated by these sessions. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Niti ma'am. Thank you, Rahul sir. So let's conclude the session and wish all the best to all the participants. See you again tomorrow.